A journey begins with one small step. It doesn't matter how hard you hit, whether you win or lose. What matters is that you have a common goal. And to reach that goal, it takes a band of brothers acting as one. Every week, we come together to witness these gladiators of the gridiron pour their heart and soul onto the field. This is Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
Welcome to Lions Pride Stadium in Factorville, Lackawanna County for tonight's showdown in the Lackawanna Football Conference Division 4 between the Old Forge Blue Devils and the Lackawanna Trail Lions. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to week number 7 of high school football here on MyTV WQMY. Joining me in the booth, as he always does, Hall of Fame coach Stan Kaharski. Paul Grippy will be on the sidelines. He'll join us shortly. Coach, when we're talking about small school football in District 2, these two teams come right to the forefront. And again, something on the line when they get together tonight.
They've become bitter rivals with each other. Division title, certainly district title. They're both going to be in the running for that. They've had a storied history over the last 19 years. Did a little bit of research and found out that since 1999, Old Forge has had 6 titles and Lackawanna Trail has had 8. So tonight's a big game to determine which direction these teams are going to go.
Let's talk about Old Forge. Their 2 losses to Lakeland and Dunmore, two pretty good teams themselves, and they're led by a senior, and he's been here 2-3 years. We've seen him a lot. Tommy Storyavong.
Again, his experience is demonstrated on the field. He's not a very tall young man, but he can catch the football and he can run after he catches it, and I'm sure he's going to be an integral part of the Old Forge attack tonight. Especially
on special teams as well.
Again, he's elusive and he's got good speed.
Let's talk about Lackawanna Trail undefeated. Their big win this year over Dunmore. They will have one of the top running attacks in all of the Lackawanna Football Conference, and it's not a senior leading the way, it's a sophomore, Ray Melankoff.
They do, and they are only next to Dunmore in terms of rushing yardage over the first 6 weeks of the season. And Melankoff is a sophomore. He's a linebacker, running back, who had a good year last year as a freshman. And speaking with Coach Jervis, he said he's just getting better and better, and by the time he's a senior, he's going to be an impact player.
Beautiful weather again here at Tunnel Hill. Will it remain that way? Let's check in now with Mike Linton from the Fox 56 News, first at 10.
A much quieter and calmer evening tonight than where we have been at many parts of, let alone October, but this year, 2018, has been a wild year for weather. But this evening, partly cloudy skies, nice cool temperatures in the low 50s, but here is the difference maker, those winds out of the south. And that is going to steer change over the next couple of days, but at least for Friday night and Saturday, it is par for the course here in northeastern Pennsylvania, Bob.
Thanks, Mike. Lions Pride Stadium will be rocking tonight. It's Old Forge and Lackawanna Trail next.
Do you know a student or fan of tonight's game? Call them now and tell them they can watch on any computer, tablet, or smartphone wherever they are. Go to fox56.com for a high-quality live stream right now.
Here come the Blue Devils, 4-2, trying to pull off the upset over the Lions from Lackawanna Trail, who come into this game undefeated and 6-0. Welcome back to Tunnel Hill, everyone. We're ready for tonight's game, but first, we have to check in with Paul Grippy down on the sidelines. Paul?
Hey, Bob, great to be here, and we're seeing a bit of a budding rivalry between these two schools. We're in the second year of the 6-class format, and in District 2, Class Single A only has 4 teams, Lackawanna Trail, Old Forge, Northwest, and Holy Cross. And let's see how they line up right now. Heading into Week 7, you'll see Trail undefeated, Old Forge in second place. Now, only the top 2 teams will head into the district championship game, which is part of a sub-regional. Last year, it was Lackawanna Trail and Old Forge. The Blue Devils won that district championship by 7. This year, it looks like they're on a collision course again. And with only these 4 teams in Single A and Old Forge and Lackawanna Trail, the 2 established successful programs, you might expect these 2 to meet in the district championship on a pretty regular basis. This year looks like Trail has the upper hand, at least at this point in the season, and there's a pretty good chance they'll meet again this year for the district championship. But a bit of a budding rivalry growing as these two teams will compete every year for that single-A championship. Bob?
Thanks, Paul. We are set. Old Forge lost the toss. Lackawanna Trail won the toss. They elected to defer to the second half. And we are ready to get things going here at Lions Pride Stadium in this Class A matchup. Little squibbler trying to avoid Tommy Suryavong. They down it quickly. Old Forge will begin their series just outside the 35-yard line. We'll check in now with Dante Lucarelli. He's a sophomore, 699 yards stand, just 2 interceptions, 11 touchdowns.
He's had started a career last year, and he's continued it into this year. If things go according to his record, he's probably going to throw for over 1,000 yards again this year.
Good, strong kid. Also can run the ball. Last year he threw for over 1,400 yards. Just 4 interceptions. Come out in the eye. Pepson up the left side. A nice hole, 9 yards. Big gain. Here's the offense, courtesy of Toyota. Holtzman leading the way. Holtzman, I should say, he's the big fullback in there. 81 yards on the year. There you see Pepson. Wide receivers pretty good themselves. Rios and Suryavong in there. 14 catches. Wargo's pretty good up front. A lot of mixture in there, but Adam Samich, he's a returner. They had to replace 4 linemen at the beginning of this year. Big push from that line here early on.
2 plays in a row, just a blast to the weak side of the offensive line of the Blue Devils. But they picked up a first down, so it's now 1st and 10, just beyond the 47-yard line.
So 2 good runs by Pepson. He comes in with 6 touchdowns, 471 yards overall.
Old Forge is an I-formation football team. They want to rush the ball. They want to establish control of the line of scrimmage. And I would imagine if you use the first 2 plays as a barometer, that's what they're going to try to do tonight.
It's an offense that averages 30 points per game. Pepson quickly taken down on the outside by Josh Brown, the linebacker. A couple yards on that play.
Everything's been back towards their bench, to the left side of their line, away from their flanker, tight end.
This defense only gives up 11 points per game on the year, just 195 yards, Coach. Total offense.
Trail's been amazing. I mean, they've dressed, I think, 25 players tonight, and yet they're 6-0, and they've won a lot of their games without a whole lot of resistance. And they have a lot of young men going both ways, Bob.
Both teams about 25 to 26 on the roster. First throw of the night is just out of the reach of Holtzman. If not, he had some running room.
Play action after 3 straight runs, and the receiver was wide open. Just threw the ball a little low.
Last time we were up here, Coach, a couple of years ago, Lackawanna Trail won that game 17-8.
It was a very good contest, and Nate Rolka had a great game that night.
Yeah, but since then, it's been all Old Forgers. Mike Schuback, 17th season already for this coach. Some assistants in there that we have some names with. Frank Burdelli and A.J. McKenna over there now helping out.
I coached A.J. at Lackawanna College.
And don't forget about Dan Holland as well. So this is DeGrorio, a junior, number 22, goes up for 5. It'll be 4th down.
It's a little unusual for Old Forge as far as I know. They were in a little bit of a shotgun set, direct snap, and run off the tackle to the right.
So just over the 50, here comes looks like the punt team for Old Forge. So this should be Anthony Rios, number 43, who averages about 33 yards a game.
Nico Barrios is deep for the Lions.
High snap. The lefty gets it off with a high kick. Fair catch signal, and Trail will start inside their 10-yard line on their first possession. Here comes Nate Roca. He's been around, 3-year starter, senior. He's having a good year, just 1 interception. He's headed to Delaware to play baseball.
Just 6 passes per game. That's not what they do. They're a wing T team, almost 1,500 yards rushing during the course of the first 6 games. Let's see if there's going to be anything a little bit differently about this approach.
Over his career, Roca's been pretty good, though. He's thrown for over 2,900 yards, 26 touchdowns.
I think they throw when you don't expect them to throw. They use a lot of play action, and certainly at 6'3" and a pretty strong arm, he's over 200 pounds, he can get the ball to receivers.
And this offense averages around 33 points per game. This is Melnikoff, the fullback. Old Forge is right there. Just a yard on the play. Here now the starters for the Lions, courtesy of Toyota. Resto's in there, 160 yards on the season as Coleman is out. The wide receivers, when they do catch the ball, they're pretty good themselves. Barrios on the year having a nice season, along with Zach Koss. And up front, a lot of experience up there, including Robbie Davis on the right-hand side.
The loss of Noah Coleman was thought they were really going to hurt the Lions, but they seemingly haven't missed the beat with him out of the lineup.
Roca back over the middle. He's got a receiver, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Tyler Carey. Old Forge with the first turnover of the game, and will have excellent field position.
That pass was just underthrown. The receiver was wide open, probably 5 to 6 yards beyond the defender, and that's a great interception. Great interception.
They were trying to hit Edwards right down the middle. He was open for a second, as you said, Coach.
Tyler Carey just elevated and was able to get one hand on it and bring it down into his waistline.
Blue Devils offense back on. Lucarelli to the shotgun. They're going to throw it themselves. Koss coming in over the middle, and this one's almost intercepted, but our first flag of the night is on the ground. Joe Lally Jr., our referee tonight. Let's see what he will call. Looks like it will go against the Lions. League.
It'll be interesting to see what Old Forge does here now. They've had 2 incompletions out of 6 plays that they've run.
Let's take a look at this interception again from ground level.
Again, it's just underthrown. You can see that the receiver was well beyond Tyler Carey. If he elevated that, he tried to put a little too much of a touch on it.
Carey's 3rd interception of the year, but the Blue Devils backed up 5 to begin this series. Lucarelli will stay in the shotgun.
Trails in their 4-4 defense.
Trying to middle screen. Wargo has it. Roca comes back, but not after a 9-yard gain. Here now the Lions defense, courtesy of Toyota. As Coach mentioned, 4-4. Jacob Brim, 4 tackles, 2 sacks on the season up front. Linebackers, very good. Josh Brown, 35 tackles on the year, 4 for a loss. And the secondary will be tested here a little bit tonight. Jordan Edwards is back there. He does have an interception on the senior year. It's a 4-year starter. Lucarelli has Holzman, gain of 14, and Old Forge is in business.
Play action on the part of the Blue Devils, running that counter play, fake counter play. And Lucarelli puts the ball right where he has to.
So they're going to the passing game, which we knew could be lethal if they went to it more often.
Well, they just have to have faith in it. It's as we said earlier in the week, Bob, a lot of coaches are a little afraid of the 2 results that you throw if you don't complete it.
Blue Devils trying to turn the turnover into points. They're on the move after 2 complete passes. Back to the Wildcat they go. This is the backup quarterback, though, Big Gregorio, but he'll run it off the right side. Good gain up to the 20-yard line, 6 on the play.
It's a wrinkle that the Blue Devils, I think, put in this week to go to the shotgun and put number 22, Michael DiGregorio, in the position to carry the football.
See, number 81, Cost, got held a little bit, no flag down. Unlike last week where we saw 20
laundry
20
all over the place.
Yeah. Second and short. Pepsi with a nice hole up the left side. Inside the Manuka red zone. Another first down for Old Forge.
A good portion of their runs up to this particular point has been back to their open side, away from their tight end. There must be something in their scouting that showed them that this is where they were going to be able to attack the Lions defense successfully.
This is an offense that's pretty balanced. 116 through the air, 135 on the ground. They've used a little bit of both on this drive. Back to the Wildcat. Gregorio, Pepsin the lead blocker, but a nice tackle by Melnikov. Maybe a gain of 1. We have just under 6 minutes to play.
It's a good fill by Melnikov. As we said in the pregame, Bob, this young man, number 44, Ray, is supposed to really develop as time goes on. And he's been very effective both as a freshman and this year during the 6 games of his sophomore year.
You know, the Blue Devils like to put points on the board. Give something for Lackawanna Trail to think about. Coming up here in Lions Pride Stadium. Pepsi the lead block. Touchdown, Old Forge. They're on the board first with a Manuka Subaru touchdown for the Blue Devils. Gregorio from the 11.
You and I could have run through that hole. It was so big. Number 63 gets a great block. The lead blocker does his job. Gregorio just walks into the end zone. It appears that the Blue Devils haven't shown this. Trail seems to be a little confused as to what's going on with that set. 2 guys are removed with the quarterback going all the way out to the boundary.
Well, they're back into it again. Go for 2. Little option to the left. Gregorio finds room. In for the 2-point conversion. So Old Forge marches 40 yards, convert the turnover into points, and they have an 8-0 lead. And we're back in Factoryville. Old Forge, after the carry interception, goes the short field. 2-point conversion is good. They lead 8-0. Rios, the lefty, nice kick downfield, and this will be Resto for about his 15. He has room into the open. Resto will go the distance, and the junior is in for a Manuka Subaru touchdown. Jeffrey Resto, 85 yards.
That's the answer that you want when you've given up a quick touchdown. Normally you're looking for good field position. Resto just follows his wedge, and it doesn't appear that not one Old Forge player got a hand on him.
Good speed and a great block right from the point of entry.
Yeah, there was a wedge, which is not easy to do, to get your 4 or 5 players shoulder to shoulder and just lead the way up the middle.
So even though they're down 2 now, Steve Jervis will go for the extra point as Melnikov is up and it is through. So Trail answers right back after the Old Forge touchdown. There's the guy, this junior, Jeffrey Resto, with the long distance run.
Keystone College Experience Open House on Saturday, October 20th. Students and parents register at keystone.edu.
Well, Coach knew they were 2 really good teams, and Old Forge bouncing back from last week against Dunmore, and Lackawanna Trail trying to continue their way. So let's take a look now at some of the Old Forge impact players, and we've seen Pepsin already. Holtzman has that 1 catch, and Rios doing a lot of kicking. We'll see him on the defensive side. So it's good players for Old Forge.
Yeah, again, special teams coaches harp on this. It's a third of what your preparation should be. And when you get a run like that, certainly it's going to lift up the spirits of Lackawanna Trail. And on the other hand, Old Forge scored on a great drive, and I'm sure they're not pleased with that effort.
Josh Semkin doing the kicking tonight, number 65. Little line driver. They don't want to kick Chip Tesorio on, but this is DeGorio, who has the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. And Old Forge is begin with another short field right near midfield.
Good field position, and you're half dozen of one or the other. If you kick it deep, there's always the possibility that they're going to run it back. If you kick it short, they're going to get good field position. So that's a decision coaches have to make.
Blue Devils in their last series threw the ball twice, ran the ball 3 times, showing a little bit of a wrinkle with their offense, but right back to the official dotting of the I. Pepsin, big hit in there. That's Zach Cost, who made the tackle after a gain of 3. Here's our Toyota key to the game for Old Forge. They don't want to commit turnovers.
No, they're killers. Certainly you want to keep possession of the football as much as you can. Ball security is critical. Here we see that they're going to alternate who's in the shotgun, whether it's Michael DiGregorio or whether it's Dante Lucarelli.
Lucarelli downfield has Rios up to the 40. Gain of 9, another first down.
Quick 3-step drop from the shotgun, and he throws a dart. Rios goes up, makes a good catch in his hands. That's going to keep the Lion defense on their toes. They're not going to be able to crowd that line of scrimmage if the mix is going to be as we've seen it up to this point.
And you know, coming in after losses to Lakeland early on, Dunmore last week, that Old Forge wants to prove to themselves they can be one of the better teams and really knock off this undefeated team for the first time this year. Pepsin deep drop, gain of 4.
That play has become a staple for just about everybody's offense. It's a counter, both guard and tackle away from the point of attack, pull, fullback fills to that side, and the tailback gets the ball. That was the play that they ran play action on earlier in the quarter.
Weren't the Redskins noted for that?
Yeah, the Redskins started it,
yep.
And everybody bought into it, including me when I was coaching.
Well, it worked that time.
It's a great play. There it is again.
Trying to get a block as Pepsin, he does. Gets the corner near another first down for the Blue Devils. On the move again.
Pepsin's tough to get a hold on. He's not very, very tall, and he's able to get to the edge that particular time, led by 51.
Barrios with the tackle again, so the secondary doing much of the tackling here.
You don't want your secondary leading the team in tackles. Again, as we said before, the Lions are in their 4-4 defense.
Again, a defense that only gives up 139 on the ground. This time, Old Forge is running through that. This is what Lackawanna Trail wants to do.
It's a trap to the fullback. Simple play, but again, it keeps the inside backers pretty honest.
There's our Toyota key to the game. Somehow they want to disrupt that passing game, but it's the running game that's turning them right now.
They've had a good balance, and they've moved the ball via the pass as well as the run.
There is Steve Jervis, 10th season here at Trail, building a nice program for a small school team. Right through is Pepsin, another first down. Inside the Manuka Subaru red zone again for the Blue Devils.
They're going right to the heart of that defense. You have your 4-4, you have your 2 down people in and around the guards and the 2 inside linebackers, and Old Forge has been able to handle them.
The sophomore Holtzman leading the way from the fullback, made a nice block. And I think that Lackawanna Trail has seen enough. They want to make some adjustments. They'll call the timeout. 2:16 remaining in the first quarter. A 1-point lead for Old Forge. And there you see Coach Jervis making the in-game adjustments.
Kevin Pepson has carried the brunt of the Old Forge running attack in the first 6 games of the season. He's listed at 5'5", and that might be a stretch.
Yeah.
But he shows some quickness, and he runs hard. Trail's going to have to just get that defense set a little bit better.
Well, again, we talked about this last week as we take a look at the Keystone College timeout. Offensive lines, we talked about that in our vlog, Coach, and you made a great observation, which was what?
Well, the teams that can rush the football because of their offensive line, and again, good backs need a good line. And Valley Viewers does that, Prep does that, Western Wayne does that. And if you can't stop the run, you're in trouble. I mean, it's that simple. Coaches will continue to pound that rock as much as they possibly can. But if you can stop the rush of the other team, then you force them pass, and if they're not comfortable doing that, then you got something going.
And coming in, Old Forge had the question marks on their offensive line, where Trail didn't. They were, as you mentioned, one of the top 2 rushing teams in the conference. But right now, it's the Old Forge Blue Devils are driving again to add on to the lead. Lucarelli to the end zone. Almost intercepted. Good defense by Zach Steck, the senior.
There's good coverage, Ed. Good position. I like the approach that Old Forge is taking here. They're just trying to mix it up, keep the Lions off balance here.
And we're speaking of that line. Lucarelli had plenty of time. Not as much time as Tom Brady had last night.
You gotta love the guys that are in the trenches. They're the unsung heroes of every football team that's successful.
And Coach Schuback and Lucarelli not on the same page. They're going to call a timeout. Just about 15 seconds just after Lackawanna Trail. So this is the importance of this game. It's an important game not only in the division but in the district standings, as we saw. It'll come down to the rest of the season.
Week 6 of Fox College football continues tomorrow as the Texas Longhorns take on the Oklahoma Sooners, followed by Indiana and the Ohio State Buckeyes at 4, and Washington and UCLA at 7:30. Saturday college football on Fox 56.
What's that, the Old River rival? Is that what that is?
Something like
Texas and Oklahoma? Some great college football coming your way on Fox 56. Hey, we have some great high school football too right now here at Tunnel Hill up in Factoryville.
We came here looking for an exciting game here deep into the first quarter. It's been just that.
It's been as advertised, as they say.
You got to be impressed with the size of the Blue Devils. We see their left tackle is listed at 6 rows. They're listed at 6'3", 305 pounds. That's Berrien, excuse me.
Yeah. He only played like a couple weeks. He's had to sit out. Lucarelli to the end zone again, trying to hit his big tight end Wargo. It's out of his reach.
Again, I would think that Coach has got to continue to have faith in this type of thing. Again, he's protected, just slightly overthrown.
Trying to get the mismatch out there. Looked like it was covered. Was that number 6? Number 8 out there. Steck again. The Steck's at 6'1". Wargo is 6'2", 6'3". Back to that Wildcat, which was successful on the last drive. They need 10. Gregoria again. This time the Trail defense is there as Brown shoots in to make the tackle.
Not only Brown, but that's our guy, Mr.
Cost? Oh, Melnikoff.
Melnikoff put a good lick. You watch here, there's not much room to run here. And you can see it's cleaned up by Melnikoff. You like linebackers that run to the football.
Officially loss of 1. 4th down. Blue Devils would go for it. A little too far for a field goal. Lucarelli trips to the left. To the end zone. Rios out of his reach. And Lackawanna Trail does what they need to do They'll get the ball back over.
Barrios was in good position that time. The corners are being isolated. It's a one-on-one situation, and you hope that your players are going to make plays. You want to get the ball to your playmakers. That's what you want to try to do. Again, great coverage and just simply overthrown.
Surprised they threw the ball 3 or 4 downs on that? After
I don't know. I mean, again, they must have a mindset that they're going to try to do these types of things. It's early in the first quarter until they can see what they really want to do consistently.
Look for some of those plays later in the game. So Lackawanna Trail takes over, called the 19-yard line. Roca in the shotgun, he'll keep it. Sheds a tackle. Suryavong has to make the tackle. About a gain of 8.
Out of those 1,400 plus yards that the Trail has amassed during the course of the first 6 games, Rolka's right in there as the 3rd or 4th leading rusher. At 6'3", 210 pounds, he puts the hammer to one of the defenders.
Under a minute to play here in a very exciting first quarter. Boyle brings the play in.
Here's a typical wing T set.
Resto, he's bopped in the middle. I don't think he's close to a first down.
That could be the end of the first quarter, Bob.
Big hit put on there, 3rd and short coming on the way. I didn't see who carried that. Did you? Was it Resto?
It was the tailback.
Yeah, Resto.
It was I think it was a tackle trap.
And that should do it. 1 quarter in the books here in Factoryville in this Class A matchup, and it looks like it's going to be a classic.
Okay, back at Tunnel Hill, about to start the second quarter here, and the score has Old Forge leading Lackawanna Trail 8-7, and that's a pretty close game. You know, recent meetings between these two teams have been pretty one-sided in favor of the Blue Devils. We look at the last 5 meetings, and Old Forge has won 4 of 5, including last year's district championship, which was a 1-touchdown win for the Blue Devils. But even going beyond that, Old Forge has won 12 of the last 13 times that they have played Lackawanna Trail. Tonight might be a little different. Obviously, Trail comes in as the undefeated, favored, and home team. So you might think Trail would be the team to beat for Old Forge, especially if Old Forge is looking for an impressive win so far this season, which they don't have. We expect it to be close, though, and really going on from here in Class A, Old Forge and Lackawanna Trail is going to be the premier game in District 2 every year. Bob?
Stan?
I have a question for you, Coach. You score a touchdown, it's 8-6. Do you go for 1 or 2?
Now or before?
Just like Trail did.
1. Go for 1. You don't need a 2 at this point. Roca hit hard. He picked up the first down before. So Trail has a new set of downs, but I would have gone for 1.
I think most coaches have a plan going into the game. They either feel comfortable that they can go for 2, or they don't feel comfortable knowing full and well that their offense, they should be able to score more touchdowns. But lo and behold, if it finishes 8-7.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That was, again, just out of the shotgun. Nate Rolka picked up a short 2 yards.
Roca can run. Against Dunmore, he had 12 carries for 99 yards and 2 touchdowns.
He's big. He's powerful, and he certainly has some speed.
Resto with a hole. We know he has speed. Suryavong matches it, lose the ball. Ball's on the turf. Resto lost the ball, and Suryavong falls on it. Huge mistake for the Lions as he was going down the field.
We have to see this on the replay. Perfectly run. It just squirts out. It appeared that he had good body control or good hand control. There he goes.
Just hit something on his shoulder
He had
pads
it
or
secured.
something.
It's one of those freak things.
Oh, what a break for the Blue Devils. Second turnover of the night for the Lions, and that may have cost them a touchdown. Pepsi with a hole now. He shoots through. Melikov with a big hit, gain of 6.
Trail hasn't had an answer for this particular play. Just inside run, fullback lead. The Old Forge line is putting some of the defenders on the ground.
That was Old Forge's 7th fumble recovery on the season.
We talked about turnovers, so
Yep.
just something that really can affect the progress of the game.
Fullback, nowhere to go. Huge hit in there by Mark Dunkel, big number 77.
Dunkel gets off the ball here. He was able to get penetration and was able to stop the runner even before he got to the line of scrimmage.
Dunkel's 4th tackle for a loss on the season. Also 3 sacks for the 5'10 junior. Lucarelli underneath center. Back to pass, a little quick out to Rios. Rios grabs it, lost his footing, but has a first down. Looks like a gain of 6. Move the chains for the Blue Devils.
Five-step drop. Just missed in terms of an interception. Rios makes a good, Barrios, is it? Is it Barrios?
Yep, Barrios on the
Barrios.
coverage. But Rios with a nice catch. How about that pass from Lucarelli?
Right. He's got a strong arm, and one of the things again that he did that he looked off to his right and came back to his left. Big third down play for the Blue Devils.
And they threw for it. Set of downs, back to the ground game. Couple yards now for Pepsin again. I think we're going to see a lot of the I formation tonight and a lot of those quick drops.
They haven't been able to stop Old Forge on this run. Now, I think the Trail coaches are a little upset seeing some holding in there. 55 got thrown to the ground that time. But again, we're seeing a good balance between the pass and the run.
Remember, Trail did beat Dunmore 21-15. So they've seen a good team before. Linwood, the junior, on the pitch. A couple more yards. Bring up 3rd and short.
Be 3rd and 4 here. Toss back to the 2 receiver side, hoping to create a crease, but it was back into the short side of the field.
Blue Devils once again for the 3rd time in this game into Lions territory. So that initial punt after he didn't go for it on 4th down, Coach Schuback punted the ball, and it remained the same for field position since then.
And they've had good field position.
Pepsin taken down in the backfield by Melnikov.
Melnikov did a great job of shooting the A-gap. He gets to the runner before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. There he is.
Whose responsibility is that?
Well, it's the guard center combination. It looked like he got hit initially, was able to come off the block and was able to make the tackle.
So the Lions defense comes up big. Rios in for another punt. He's a good kicker. Barrios, another fair catch. Barely caught this one inside the 15.
That's an unforgiving job catching punts.
Rios has a nice leg though. So while we have a chance, let's check in now with Paul.
Hey, Bob. Well, it's the month of October, and really for about the past 10 years or so, the month of October has been special in the sport of football, not just high school, but college and pro as well. And we're seeing it here tonight in Factoryville. a lot of pink in the crowd. You see the cheerleaders walking behind me right now from Lackawanna Trail. They're dressed in pink, and they have the pink ribbons on and the pink socks. They're going over to greet the Old Ford cheerleaders, who are also clad in pink and waving pink pom-poms. And that's to raise awareness for the fight against cancer and also to raise a little bit of money. One particular player from Old Forge has been deeply touched by that recently. Quarterback Dante Lucarelli lost his father, Artie Lucarelli, this past summer after a 5-year battle with cancer. And members of the Old Forge section sitting in the bleachers wear yellow shirts as part of Artie's army. It's more of a thing at the Old Forge home games. They even reserve an empty seat to remember Artie at. But they're remembering here tonight, and Dante plays for his memory. Artie was quite a good athlete in his younger day and a big football fan and a passionate supporter of the Blue Devils. And he waged a big fight against cancer, and it's a fight that continues and touches everyone. And Old Forge and Lackawanna Trail are remembering that tonight. The Lackawanna Trail cheerleaders do the Race for the Cure, and they raise money to donate to the Susan B. Komen Foundation as well. Bob, it's something that happens throughout all of football during the month of October, and it's present here tonight at Lackawanna Trail.
Well said, Paul. Well said. Back on the fields, third down as you see. Roca with gonna keep it. Runs over his own guy, and I think he's going to be close to a first down, maybe just a little bit short.
I think he's short. You were right, Bob. Better angle than I had. That last series, Lackawanna Trail got into their wing tee set, ran a quick trap, and then 2 attempts at the buck sweep.
But another ominous field position. 3 possessions for Trail in this game, Coach. They started at their own 12, their own 19, and this one started their own 13.
And as we've said, it's tough to go 80-plus yards in high school.
The Lions are going to try. Roca again on the keeper. Underneath, Pepson Gebson. Gain of 1.
Trail favors their run game. They're going to block it. And they've got the tailback, they've got the fullback that can run, and the quarterback that can run. It's just a question of, like we've said earlier, who's going to win up inside the trenches.
Haven't seen much of the wing T type offense.
No, they've been in. They've really mixed it up. They haven't been in just the wing weak backfield set with a split in. They've gone to shotgun. They've gone to 2 wides, 3 wides.
Well, you know, Forge was practicing that this week. I've seen it for the last couple of years. Timeout called by Old Forge. No, I think we got a flag. Delay of game. So here are the impact players for the Lions. Dunkel on the defensive end. We saw him with a couple stops. Koss has been in there. We haven't seen much of Moyle yet.
No, we haven't. Pesto's been the main ball carrier.
Moyle has come in with 299 yards and 6 touchdowns, but I don't have him for a carry yet. So after the 5-yard penalty on Lackawanna Trail, it backs the ball up to the...
Again, Resto's listed at 5'8". He's pretty diminutive, but he showed some speed.
Back to the 20. Roca going to put it up. Out to Edwards, and Edwards with a nice gain, gets some of the yardage back. Looks like a gain of 9.
It was a sprint to the right, and you'll see that Nate gets his body in position to deliver a good ball, good catch, makes a manageable 3rd down.
So Riavon with the stops.
When you're a wing T team, the ability to get out of the pocket is certainly part of the whole package, whether it's a sprint concept or whether it's play action.
Under 4 to play here in the first half. Roca with room, has a 1st down and more, and the senior bowls over Pepson, and up to the 46 he goes. Gain of 19.
If Roca showed a little bit of patience here, he had a man down the middle of the field that was wide open. Instead, he tucks it on a 3rd down, and watch him finish this run here. Picks up an extra 4 yards. Tough to tackle a 6'3", 210-pound quarterback.
Especially in small school football.
Any football. That could be Cam Newton, and still you got to tackle him.
Lions trying to maybe take the lead going into the half.
There it is again.
Trying to sell a middle screen. Melnikov has it. Flag comes in. No gain on the play. Flag was thrown on near the Old Forge bench.
Resto, again, was wide open down the middle of the field.
Ineligible downfield, trying to set up that screen pass.
Well, if the pass was thrown behind the line of scrimmage, there is no illegal man downfield. I think the officials are discussing that here.
I don't really see anybody really downfield. He's in front of the guy that received the ball.
They may wave this off.
It is waved off. Well, the referees got together, made the right call. That's all that matters.
That's right. It's good to see that collaboration.
Coach Schubeck not going to like it, but as you saw on the replay, that was the right call. Moyle comes in.
Now the coaches from Trail, if they're up in the roof.
Should be second down.
It is. They've changed it to second.
So after the incomplete pass, Lions again on them trying to get something going. Sophomore fullback is pushed back. Maybe a gain of 2. Making the first hit in there was Samitz, the senior, who comes in with 52 tackles.
As I was starting to say before, 2 times in a row, the Lions sent a receiver down the middle of the field. He was wide open. There wasn't an Old Forge defender within 10 yards of him. Now the people upstairs that are serving as the spotters, the coaches from Trail, they've probably seen that and may come back to something like that.
Well, Coach Jervis said in his keys to the game, they have to control the line of scrimmage. They've done a little bit of that. I think more Old Forge in this first half has done a better job.
They have.
So on 3rd and long, this is Moyle. He gets a first down, and 12 for Moyle. Move the chains. 1:52 remaining in the half.
That play is the staple of the wing T offense. And the precision with both guards pulling, you'll see here both guards get to the point of attack, and both of them do a great job.
Does a nice job protecting the ball with 2 hands, carry on the tackle.
That play goes to show you the confidence that Steve Jervis has in his team. I mean, it's 3rd and 7 or 8, and they run a base play.
Play
there
action.
It is down.
Over the middle, Barrios dives to the ground, makes the catch, right at the line to gain.
Nate Roca has a good arm. I mean, that ball was put on a clothesline. If you watch it here, he gets his hips around, steps into his throw, right in the numbers.
9 on the play.
Pitch and catch.
Time rolling. A couple timeouts left for Lackawanna Trail. On the move to the air. Roca's got a lot of green in front. Puts his head down, still on his feet to the 15. Gain of 20 for the senior quarterback.
Boy, you like to see that leadership physically for a quarterback to set that kind of tone. He dropped back, or he was already in the shotgun. Nobody was open. He pulls the ball down, tucks it away, and he runs. And watch him finish this run. Again, he's punishing the tacklers. As he breaks towards the sidelines, a host of Old Forge players there.
Resto puts his head down to the ground. See, Coach Jervis wants a timeout with 35 and counting. He gets it. So they're up to the 10 inside the Manuka Subaru red zone. Plenty of time.
The runners for Lackawanna Trail are well schooled in how to finish their runs. If you noticed, every time, whether it's Resto, whether it's the quarterback, they finish their runs by dropping their hips, dropping their shoulders, and just driving forward, picking up 2, 3, 4 extra yards.
They want a touchdown. Roca, though, has a good leg. We haven't seen kick tonight. It was Melnikov. Roca could kick it himself. So plenty of time. 1 timeout left for Lions. 2 timeouts for Old Forge. This is a great drive, though, Coach. You mentioned how tough it is for a high school team to go the whole field. This drive started at their 13-yard line.
And they've made some mistakes. They've had some penalties, but they were able to overcome those in great measure because of Nate Rolka's running ability and timely passing as well.
This is the 13th play of the drive.
Well, that's what Trail wants to do.
Yep.
Not only is it taking them towards the end zone, but it's keeping the Old Forge offense off the field.
It started with 6:54 in the second quarter. It's almost a 6-minute drive now for the Lions. They've had a little bit of pass. Rolka, a lot of running.
Old Forge is in a man.
He'll go to the air, out to the flat. Got Edwards. Short of a first down, but the clock will roll. You use your last timeout. They will. 22 seconds, as you saw the play right there. Nice catch by Edwards.
Yes.
Now, what's the strategy? You have no timeouts, 22 seconds. You're 7 yards away from a score.
I would take the ball out of the tackle box area. Take him on a sprint. Let him see if he can find a receiver and let him run and get out of bounds. You'll still have, there's 22 seconds. Yep. You've got time for at least a couple of plays.
To the end zone yet or not?
Well, again, like I said before, depending on what set that they're getting, the ball's on the far hash, I would sprint towards their bench and, again, see if they can run a flood route or a flood pattern to the receivers. If not, Nate can just tuck that ball away. It's safe. It's a safe thing for them to do. All they've got to make sure they do is to block at the edge. Let him get to the outside.
Let's see if Roca will keep it or want to put it up in the air himself. A lot of other weapons. Moyle and Resto have done a nice job. And don't forget about that fullback.
I don't think they have time to run something inside unless they can bust a big hole.
You'd have to really surprise the Blue Devils. They can get a first down, though. Let's say that at the 5-yard line. Of course, if you get a first down, it stops the clock. So you have time to get up to the line of scrimmage and maybe spike the ball. Let's see now what the Lions want to do late here in the second half, trying to take the lead.
You can see they're overloaded to the right. There's a sprint, and there's a flag. Is that an Old Forge timeout?
You said a flag down.
Oh.
Trying to see.
For the cue. False start on the offense.
Tough one against the Lions.
The downs.
And they were doing exactly what we said that they were going to do. Sprint towards the wide side of the field. I want to see if Old Forge is going to be in man coverage on the wideouts. Now, are they going to put some time back on the clock?
Yeah, time on the clock. I think it was
22.3.
Yeah, 22.3 it was at.
22.3.
But this backs up the Lions 5 yards.
0.3.
Ball out to the 10, I think it looks like. So officially it's 3rd down and 7 yards. Ball at the 13-yard line for the Lions. Now you have to get out of bounds, even if you're trying to field goal at this point.
Again, let's take a look at the set here. 2 receivers, 3 receivers to the right. Fullback is offset to the right. Again, same concept.
Roca gonna roll to the end zone, near the end zone. They have a first down. It's gonna be a yard short, but the clock will stop with the first down. Now Lions have to get up, spike the ball. But
Roca's going to sneak this. His big body.
Clock rolls. Roca will spike it, stop the clock, 12.3. So a 12-yard gain on the pass to Resto. Let's look at the pass again.
There he is. It's a sprint. Wow.
Excuse me, it's Edwards.
Just over the defender's hand.
He tried to put the ball
over.
That
ball, and it came out.
They called him down. You saw the referee come in from the side.
You got to be careful extending that ball. Make sure it crosses that plane.
They're going to hand it off. He fumbles. Ball's on the turf.
That's going to be
clock is rolling. Moyle fumbled. The clock will run out. All that work for the Lions, and they come up empty.
Ball security, Bob. You mentioned it earlier. No turnovers.
An 87-yard drive is for naught as the ball comes out of Moyle's hands right at the goal line. It didn't matter who recovered it because the time ran out.
I'm really surprised at the call.
And let's go down now to Paul Grippy with Coach Jervis.
Okay, Coach, right at the end there, what did you see on that play when the ball came loose?
Well, we get down there. Obviously that's an important play there. We're going to run one of our base plays, and we just can't put the ball on the ground there. We want to put the ball in one of our seniors' hands. You don't want to see that ball on the ground there, obviously.
Overall, though, are you executing against Old Forge the way you intended in practice this week?
Yeah, it's always a tough game when we play. You know what I mean? And it's no different tonight. And it's going to come down to a few plays here. That'll probably affect the outcome of the game.
Okay, Coach. Thank you very much. Bob.
Well, he had Coach Jervis. We got to look at that play again. We didn't get time to diagnose it. So as Coach Jervis walks out, here we go again.
It wasn't seated. He handed it off. It slipped right through the waistline.
And again, time is ticking. No timeouts left.
I'd be interested to see whether that A-gap was open either side, where Roca could have just taken that snap, used his big body, and just extend over the boundary there, or the goal line rather.
A lot of question marks for Lackawanna Trail as they head into the locker room, down 1 to Old Forge. We think that half was exciting. Still one more half to go.
Friday Night Rivals is brought to you by Toyota, Let's Go Places, Luzerne County Community College, Keystone College, and Manuka Subaru.
Halftime at Lion Pride Stadium sees the visiting Old Forge Blue Devils leading the Lackawanna Trail Lions 8-7. That was a thrilling first half, and we're looking forward to a good second half. But at halftime here, we have a special guest joining us. This is a new resident of the state of Pennsylvania and the new head football coach at Keystone College. It is Justin Higgins. Coach, thanks for joining us here. It's a Friday night. It's football season. You don't have a game to prepare for, though. What's that like for you?
Well, they keep me pretty busy on campus. Obviously, adding a new program, there's still a lot to do. So we're busy recruiting, and obviously Northeast Pennsylvania creates quite an atmosphere on Friday night, so it's good to get out. But it still doesn't mean that you see a game day on a Saturday, you're feeling it a little bit, and we'll be eager to get on the field next year, but we're definitely keeping busy.
I know recruiting is important. You really don't have a team right now, no roster, no one to call a play with. Other than recruiting, what kinds of things are keeping you busy right now? I mean, we are starting up a program from scratch,
yes.
So it's more than just getting some players to come and join you.
Well, that is true. I mean, recruiting is a big thing, but obviously there's facilities, and we're doing a great job expanding our facilities and adding facilities, so I'm a big part of that as well, and still getting out, in the community and on campus and really building the relationships with them. We do have a handful of guys currently on campus that are going to work towards, being a part of the team as well. So they're putting some good work in, on campus and at Keystone. So a lot of stuff going on, and we're definitely excited for it.
Now, you've moved here from another state to start this up. What was it about this job and starting this up that appealed to you that you wanted to come and do this?
Well, obviously it's an interesting challenge, and one that I think, the competitor in all of us wants to take on, starting your own program. But when I got and interviewed and I got, lucky enough to get offered the job, you could see that there's a lot of support. I mean, you have community support in the area. Football's big, but on campus, administration, they wanted to do it right. And I think that was a big thing for myself and my family coming to the area. People have been great. So I think you look at the total package, it was definitely a win-win.
Okay, and you're a New York guy, but you've coached around in some different places, including Pennsylvania and the PSAC. What have you noticed, or what have your impressions been of Pennsylvania football and just the attitude towards it and the kinds of players that you're seeing?
Well, obviously hard-nosed players, and for us, when you start a program, that's number one, what you look at. You got to have those tough, hard-working kids, and I think PA's got a lot of that, and they're enthusiastic about their football. You could tell getting here, again, the addition of football to Keystone, just Northeast PA in general in the area, very excited and support it. And so I think that's something we can definitely build on as we build our program.
Okay, so we're less than a year from your first game, but you won't be in a league next year. You won't play a full, what they call, varsity season. But a year from now, what will you be involved with? What will your season look like, and what will you want to accomplish?
Absolutely. So the first year in 19, obviously being a sub-varsity season, big thing for us is learning how to play together, learning how to play as a team, and learning how to be competitive. And then 2020 will be part of the ECFC conference, which has a variety of schools in the Northeast, schools in New York, Washington, D.C., New England area, Massachusetts, and Vermont. We'll also pick up some local teams as well as part of the non-conference schedule. So at that point, again, looking to just continue our trend of playing competitively, and each year make sure that we build that roster up and keep getting closer and closer in conference, and we'll see where the future takes us then.
We're at a point now, at least my opinion, college football is the most entertaining kind of football. And the reason for that is every team is doing something different. So what are we going to see from you? I mean, a pocket passer, we're going to see the Wildcat, or are we going to see some crazy offense? What kind of system do you run?
Well, I can't give too many of my secrets away now. They've got no film on us, so that's the benefit that we have.
Right.
Obviously, we want to make sure that we play to the personnel that we have, and that's going to be something that we're going to be able to once we recruit the kids. As a coaching staff, it's up to us to put them in the best place and use their abilities to it. So I think that regardless of what exactly the scheme may or may not be, I think you'll see us use those guys and put them in the best spot. And like I said, as long as we get guys on the field that are going to work hard and play hard, we'll be all right.
All right, spoken like a true coach. Okay, that is the Keystone football coach, Justin Higgins, continuing to build his coaching staff and recruit players. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
I really appreciate it. Thank
My
you.
pleasure. We look forward to next year kicking off a new era at Keystone College. We're a returning era, really, right?
Yeah.
Because they've had maybe football, was it 70 years ago since
It
they've had it?
was, yeah. They don't have any jerseys or equipment we can use, so it's been a while.
Okay, so the Giants will be playing football next fall. Coach Higgins will be the coach. We'll be back with the third quarter right after this on MyTV WQMY. Coach Mike Schuback with me. Coach, you got the lead at the half. What did you like about the way your team played in the first half?
Well, we gave up some things. I like how we tried to get off the ball faster on offense this week. Put a lot of time into that in practice this week. Trail had a couple turnovers that gave us a little bit of a lift there at the end, but a lot of football left.
Coming in to the locker room for halftime, your team must have been lifted by the way the first half ended. How did your team react to that?
They're taking it 1 minute at a time right now because we know ultimately we'll play them again. That's the way it looks like. So I think the two of us, both programs, are doing the best they can with our numbers right now. But it's a good quality football game. Both games last year were the same way. A couple points at the end. We'll do our best. We'll give them our best the second half and see what happens.
Okay, thanks a lot. Old Forge coach Mike Schuback. And Bob, if the first half is any indication, this second half should be pretty exciting.
Absolutely, Paul. Welcome back inside the booth, Bob Ide and Stan Kaharski. And boy, how about the way that half ended? A big 87-yard drive almost ended 1 yard short because of a fumble, and the Lions would have had the lead going in.
It'll be interesting to see how they come out in the second half, whether they're going to be able to pick their spirits up, and certainly losing the ball at the 1 yard line like that is painful. But again, they should be resilient enough to come back.
And the Lions get the ball to begin the third quarter. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. Both teams had the ball, only 3 possessions. The first break came for Old Forge as Roca threw the ball downfield.
Tyler Carey makes a one-handed stop at the ball and is able to get a second hand on it for an interception. And here we see Michael DiGregorio, big hole, and walks into the end zone.
And then the big play for Lackawanna Trail, their only score of the game, came on a kick return from about the 15-16, Jeffrey Resto.
It appears that there wasn't a single white shirt that got a hand on Resto. He was able to just go up the middle, his blockers fanned out the way you're supposed to do when you're in that wedge, and he was able to score. And there you see the fumble. It appears that there was no good exchange between Rolka and the running back, and the ball hit his leg.
Well, the good news is Trail gets the ball right back. Blue Devils on special teams stop Moyle, but Lackawanna Trail will have the ball at the 36-yard line. Here's some numbers from the first half. For Lackawanna Trail, Roca was the leading rusher, 5 carries, 54 yards.
And through the air, Roca was 4 of 5, 37 yards, but Old Forge doing a nice job overall on the defensive side. 2 fumbles in the half for Lackawanna Trail. 1 they lost and 1 they kept as time ran out, and you saw the interceptions. So 2 turnovers for Lackawanna Trail, 1 turned over into a Old Forge points. This is the fullback, Ray Melnikoff. He's a sophomore. He goes up for about a yard gain.
It's one of the base plays. It's just that fullback trap into the guard center gap. This is one of the better field positions that Trail has had. The first half was not very good to them in terms of field position.
No, it was in the teens every time they had the ball. Three possessions in the first half, and that long drive, 87 yards, came up a couple of yards short as time expired, as you saw. Can the Lions get over that and go the distance again? Resto is there, but Rios stands him up after a yard gain himself.
Base play, one of the favorites of anybody that runs the win T. It's that buck sweep. See, Resto gets right into that C gap. A good tackle by number 43 for the Blue Devils. That's Anthony Rios.
So just about 100 yards of offense for Lackawanna Trail, one of their worst, probably first halves in this season. Even against Dunmore, they had a nice half. Came back to win that game. And this one, though, Old Forge has come to play here at Tunnel Hill. Lost here a couple years ago. Roca has Resto. Resto makes a move. Old Forge finally pulls the junior down all the way inside Blue Devil territory at the 10-yard line.
You have to be impressed with the accuracy of Nate Rocco on this particular play. There were a lot of white shirts in the secondary surrounding Resto, and that ball's thrown right at his chest, and he's able to break 1 tackle and show some speed. All the way down to what, the 15, is it?
It's like near the 11-yard line, almost a 69-yard pass play. Has the Lions in business, trying to take their first lead of the night. Roca right up, the gut, right over his center. Rodenbach, gain of about 5. They're inside the Manuka Subaru red zone on their first possession of this third quarter.
You want the ball in the hands of your playmakers, whether it's the quarterback, your running back, your receivers. Nate Rocco is going to take command of this particular drive.
That's a tough break for Old Forge. They held them, 2 good running plays, and then they come up with that big pass play to get it down all the way deep in Blue Devil territory. Again, Roca.
That's just short of a first down, Bob. They could be in 2-down territory here. It's probably on the, looks like it's about the 3-yard line. And again, Roca's tough. He's a load to bring down.
Next tackle in there by Holtzman was in there. Also Wargo for Old Forge on their heels now.
Here they're in an they're offset in the wing T set.
Roca to the right, stood up. Is he going to be close to a first down? It depends on the mark.
That's the play I would have run at the end of the half before they fumbled.
We're going to get a measurement. They're going to say he's about a half yard short. No measurement coming. Now let's see what the psyche is of this Lions team. Edwards is going to bring the play in. I would think you're going to run Roca again.
Why not?
Don't run the play around Moyle.
You don't want to go east and west on this. They're there.
Give it to that offensive line that's done a nice job all season long on 4th down. Roca has it and more.
Touchdown.
For the signal, touchdown Lions.
You go for 2 here.
No. Manuka Subaru touchdown for Nate Roca. His 7th running touchdown of the season. The Lions have their first lead of the night.
Here it is. And again, that's a smart quarterback. When you're running that sneak, you don't necessarily want to go straight ahead. You want to find the gap where there's the least resistance. And he just went to his left that time, was able to get the ball into the end zone. And they're going to go for one.
Sophomore Melnikov has his kicking shoe on, and this one's blocked. So it's blocked, but the Lions come back, take the lead. The score 13-8. Lackawanna Trail with 8:01 left in the third.
You're watching Friday Night Rivals on my TV at WQMY.
The Lackawanna Trail cheerleaders welcoming us back, and their team has their first lead of the night. The ball, Old Forge on the kickoff. We'll have the ball just past the 37. But, Coach, you want to see that extra point again if we can get that up in the truck, and describe what you saw and what you wanted to see.
Take a look at the right side of Old Forge's defense. If Trail has a fake extra point kick in their repertoire, all they've got to do is run that left end or left wing back out into the flat. He's going to be wide open. Hopefully we'll get that replay, Bob.
Here comes Old Forge, had the lead for much of the night, doing a nice job. Pepsin, though, taken down quickly by Dunkel. So in that first half, Pepsin, 12 carries, 47 yards overall. Lucarelli was 4 of 7 through the air, 35 yards. And DiGregorio, 4 carries, 18 yards. He is the only touchdown of the night for the Blue Devils. He also has a 2-point conversion. So now Old Forge has to go the distance to take back the lead.
Screen pass.
Trying to get a middle screen set up. It was incomplete. It was up for Wargo, the tight end. Coach Schuback calling the plays. Done that for a long time. 17th season here with Old Forge. These are 2 of the longer tenured coaches, too, in the league.
Yeah, there's been a transition with a lot of older coaches stepping aside and younger coaches getting their opportunity to.
They're going to call that incomplete as Surya Vong tried to run with the ball before he caught it. His first touch of the night on the offensive side. The punt team will be coming out.
Okay, we're going to see this in the extra point. I want you to, again, focus on the other side, but that's okay. Again, since they missed this one, if Old Forge is able to score, it's going to be 14-13. So some food for thought.
Reel's doing a nice job kicking the ball tonight. This was a little low line driver over Barrios' head. Should have caught it. And he's going to take an Old Forge roll and give the Lions horrible field position all the way back near the 10.
So what's new in terms of field position?
Well, how about that play, though? Should he have caught it, come up and tried to catch it?
That's easier said than done. That's a judgment that you have to make. It was a low kick. It wasn't kicked with any type of a spiral of any type. So you don't want to necessarily fumble it and give the ball back to Old Forge. So like I said before, that's one of the toughest jobs on the football field, to be a punt returner. And especially when you're back there by yourself.
Lackawanna Trail comes back out. Now I think we'll see a lot of running from the Lions, trying to work the clock and hold on to this lead. Steve Jervis looking on. Boy, if they had scored before the half, what the score would be. No, they're going to go right to the passing game. Edwards takes a hit after the play by Surya Vong. Late flag.
Wonder whether they're going to call this a defenseless receiver. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
The difference is, what's the high school version of that? We haven't seen a lot of that this year.
No.
It was really late because I think even
even the referee looked into the eyes of Edwards before he even threw the flag.
It was a late call.
Dead ball.
So a 15-yard penalty cost the Blue Devils. Let's see it again.
Again, it's just a sprint to the left. Well, face mask to face mask.
Helmet to helmet, yep. I mean, probably the right call, but in high school, haven't seen a lot of that.
Well,
lot of head-to-head.
It's got to be cleared up at every level, so you can't argue with that.
So after the Old Forge penalty, at least brings the Lions out to the 27-yard line. A little more room to work for them. Roca, not much room. Old Forge there to stop.
Bob, we haven't seen the Lions at all this year, and I'm a little bit surprised that they're not under the center as often as they normally would be with the wing T offense. But again, in being in the Wildcat like this, Nate Roca's got an opportunity to run, and they're putting the game on his shoulders.
Again, most likely these two teams will play in Week 11 for the District 2 Class A title. So are you holding anything back at this point? I mean, both coaches said they want to go out with the game. But really, in the back of your mind, you have to think, we're going to see them again. We don't want to show too much, or you're going to change things right before we.
You play to win. I mean, I don't think that you're hiding anything. I just think that you're through your preparation for each game and your scouting, you're going to do what you try to do best, and you're going to challenge the other team to stop you from an offensive vantage point. Now, will there be some tweaks here and there? No question. Whoever wins this particular game, if they meet each other in the districts or in the division playoffs, time will tell what changes will be made, what adaptations will be made.
We'll take a look at the schedules coming up in a little while and see what's left for both these teams, because that could determine a lot for what comes out of this game. Fullback stood up quickly. Nice job by Samitz again. We called his name and Pepsin in there as well.
That was a weak side belly. Again, one of the staples of the wing T offense. A little surprised that was the play that was called on a third down. There you'll see it. Melnikoff. Again, going forward, but he's about 2.5 yards short.
Well, Forge does the job. It's 4th and about 3. The punt team is on. Letting the clock roll a little bit. Rios is back to receive, along with Soryovong near the 35, and I think Coach Jervis is going to call a timeout. 5:16 left in the third. Lions with the lead 13-8. Scored on the opening possession of this third quarter.
Are there no play clocks here? I don't think, are there?
I don't see any.
So they've got to rely on that back judge raising his arm to signify that there's, 5 seconds left?
Yep. So it's a Keystone College timeout. Both coaches leading their team. At this point, why would the Lions call a timeout there?
I think that Coach Jervis didn't like what he saw in terms of either the front of Old Forge putting on a punt block.
Should be coast on to punt. It is number 81. High snap, but he catches it, and it's all. I think he got a hand on it. We'll have to take a look at that again. And was that Carey in there? 19 may have gotten a hand on that punt. Old Forge will have great field position right near midfield, their own 49.
The snap was a little slow, and the punter was a little slow in getting this thing off.
Carey, he went right by it.
Yes,
he caught it with his right hand going through, right?
Yep.
What do you do on a punt block? What do you teach?
You teach to go for the ball coming off his foot.
Siriavong. First catch of the night. He's got room down the sidelines.
He's gone.
Tommy Siriavong on his first catch of the night goes 51 yards. It's a Manuka Subaru touchdown for the Blue Devils.
We talked about this before the game, his ability to run after the catch. Explosive. Nate Roca just missed that, and he gets some good blocks downfield by some of his teammates and just runs away from the Lions.
Resto couldn't catch him. We talked about him in the pregame show, and that's why he is our spotlight player.
Explosive.
He does a lot of things.
And that's what you're looking for.
I don't think the Blue Devils
They're going for two, Bob.
brought their kicker tonight. They're going for two again. Back to the Wildcat. This was successful. Left side, good blocking. 2-point conversion is good by DeGorio. And with 4:53 remaining in this third, Old Forge takes a 3-point lead.
That was too easy at the extra point.
Friday Night Rivals is brought to you by Toyota, Let's Go Places, Luzerne County Community College, Keystone College, and Manuka Subaru.
We're back up in Tunnel Hill in Factoryville after the 2-point conversion and subsequent kickoff, which went out of bounds. We have a flag and Lackawanna Trail. See if they want the ball or they want the re-kick. It looks like they're going to take it at the 46, and why not? It's good field position for the Lions. So after Tommy Suriavong takes the big pass down, Lions now trail by 3.
We've seen those short passes work for a lot of teams. If you watched the Penn State-Ohio State game last week, you saw that that's how the Nittany Lions succumbed to the Buckeyes.
Back underneath center now. Roca goes. He's going to go to the air himself in the play action. Nolan open and trying to hit Barrios, but good coverage downfield by Old Forge.
Moves up in the pocket, throws the ball slightly too low for Barrios to be able to make an effort to catch it. This is, again, better field position for the Lions.
Roca this season had a nice game against Susquehanna, 5 of 9, 119 yards and 2 touchdowns. Got a touchdown tonight on the ground. He'll keep it again. Leading rusher is Roca into the secondary, gain of 11 for the senior quarterback.
When he gets that ball and starts moving and he commits to the line of scrimmage, he just gets those shoulders square to the line and he accelerates. He must be pretty fast. You watch there, explosiveness. Look at him run through those tackles. He picks up an extra 7 yards after first contact.
Suriavong with the first hit in the secondary. Ball on the Blue Devil side of the field. Both teams have scored a touchdown in this third quarter. Roca looking to the outside and fires it just through Edwards' hands.
A little too hard for that. Roca's pretty good at going either to his right or his left. You see here, gets his hips around, just misfires a little bit to the back shoulder of Edwards.
Wargo out there.
Are you surprised we've seen as much passing tonight?
Yes, a little bit.
I am as well. I didn't think we'd see it on Trail's part. I anticipated maybe Old Forge would throw the ball a little bit tonight.
Well, Old Forge has thrown it with some success. Here's Resto. Picking up a block, takes a hit, gain of about 4. Third down on the way.
Here we go. Again, it's a base play. Something that's repped in practice over and over and over again. The success is all predicated on those guards getting out and the down blocks by the play side tackle and tight end.
Pepson on the stop from his outside linebacker position.
Very exciting game up to this point.
Well, one would worry coming in the way Old Forge played last week against Dunmore. The Lackawanna Trail blow them out. That hasn't been the case. Little low, but right there to catch it is Edwards. Move the chains for Lackawanna Trail.
It's good to see receivers. Low balls like this, you want to get your elbows inside, your hands inside your elbows, and scoop that ball. Hug it.
11 yards on that. Edwards came in with 6 catches on the year. He's a senior. Very good free safety for your starter on the defensive side of the ball is Edwards. Gain of 11 on that. Play action. No, he's going to just keep it. Takes a big hit after maybe a half-yard gain.
That was a designed run. That was basically it was a bootleg to the right. We spoke before the game that.
Look at this hit, coach, by Holtzman. Big hit in there by the linebacker.
That's one of the few times we've seen Rolka go backwards.
We have some good young players, too. We saw Melikoff, he's a sophomore. Holtzman there came in with 61 tackles. He's just a sophomore,
right.
So seeing the future a little bit from Lackawanna Trail and Old Forge here tonight. Play action. He will look downfield and try to throw it. Towards the end zone. Intercepted, but a flag comes in. Did he push off? Carey with his second interception for now. What is the flag going to be called?
Oh, the Blue Devils staff's not going to like this call if it's pass interference.
That looked like another outstanding catch by Tyler Carey. Here was the call from referee Joe Lally Jr. It is pass interference, as you see, on Old Forge.
See if we have a replay of this, Bob.
From the end zone. Maybe a little.
He extended that left hand and kept the receiver from coming back to the football.
Here's my question. I see this a lot. Isn't the defensive back able to go after the ball?
He is.
I thought that was always the case.
But you can't push the offensive player from getting to the ball.
And he grabbed his hand a little bit with the left hand. Coach Schuback will look at that on film, maybe even on our broadcast. Doesn't like the call right now, but may be the right call.
Well, there's no replay in high school football, so.
And there won't be.
So whatever the call is going to stay.
Well, the thing is with high school football, just like college, it's just a 15-yard penalty.
Right.
So it's not, even though it was in the end zone, right? It still should be just 15 yards. So up to the 14 after the penalty for the Lions. Movement on the front line. This will back up Lackawanna Trail 5 yards.
We said before the game, I believe, Bob, that Trail has thrown the ball in 6 games 35 times.
Yep.
We don't have the stats yet, but that's going to be surpassed quite a bit. And if it is, it's a deliberate game plan on the part of Coach Jervis that they've come into this game trying to utilize the skill set of the quarterback in both passing as well as running.
I have him for 7 passes on the night.
Oh, it's been more than that.
I'm just telling you.
Well, listen, you have a
I
tough
don't
job.
have to count the incompletions.
Okay,
so
there you go.
9, maybe 11 passes on the night. Didn't count the incompletions. My fault. Roke it to the air again, down the middle, and just kind of threw it into the ground.
Well, Old Forge is getting a lot of drop. Their linebackers are getting some depth. Their secondary is getting deeper than the receivers, so there's no place for Rolka to go on that. Depending on the set, what we may see here, Bob, is that they're going to overload the set to the left side.
16 passes on the night, Coach. I felt bad. I had to recount.
You're
That was
better
a 16.
than I am, Bob, and count.
I can't read my own writing sometimes. You know how that is. Roca again off the guard side, couple yards.
Back to
in
the original
15.
line of scrimmage,
Yep.
I believe.
They're inside the Manuka Subaru red zone, though, are the Lions trying to take back the lead here in the third quarter.
He's just tough. I mean, you can see he's determined that he's going to drop those hips and shoulders and run people over.
So third down, just about the 10 yards.
Again, here's the same set. They're trips left. Somebody's hurt.
Officials timeout as we have an injured Old Forge player is on the ground.
It's
with
Tommy
123.
Suriavong.
Is it Suriavong
I
cramping?
think it is, probably cramp. Fox NFL Sunday features former Penn State running back Saquon Barkley as the Giants travel to take on the Carolina Panthers at 1 p.m., followed by the Vikings and Carson Wentz and the Eagles. Week 5 of the NFL is expected to be interesting. Fox NFL Sunday begins at 1, only on Fox 56.
Oh, the Vikings and the Eagles on Sunday. That should be a pretty good game. And
the NFL is crazy. Anybody that bets on the NFL games needs their heads examined. It's you can't predict who's going to play on a given Sunday.
Well, I think the only thing is I heard you can bet on the Thursday games, and most likely the home team's going to win because it seems like every Thursday game the home team wins. So maybe that's a fair bet. But other than that, I mean,
hate
Minnesota lost to Buffalo. Right?
I hate Thursday games from the player's standpoint.
Well, yeah.
There's such a short preparation. You play on Sunday, you're off Monday, you're off basically Tuesday. You got a Wednesday practice, and then you got to play again. And the game is so physical. These guys that weigh 280, 290, 300, 320, it's tough to recover physically. It's really very difficult. And when the Players Association are going to negotiate with the NFL, even though there's a lot of revenue that's generated by those Thursday night games, they're going to take a stance on those Thursday night games.
Suriavong, you saw, ran off the field. He was cramping up. You saw Barrios getting stretched out as well. After the Keystone College timeout, Lions back on the field on third down.
Again, trips to the long side of the field with the back offset.
Roca going to roll. It was left to the end zone. Right in the back of the end zone.
Number 11.
Edwards with the
Jordan
Manuka
Edwards.
Subaru touchdowns. He was wide open. They lost him in the back. 14 yards. Trail back with the lead.
Here we'll see it. To the left, he sprints, hesitates, puts a nice touch on it, and Edwards is wide open. And that was Di Gregorio that was in coverage.
It just lost Edwards back there. His first touchdown of the year. And it's a big one here in this game. Flag before the snap. Legal substitution against Old Forge. Now they go for 2. Here's the touchdown again. Coming right at you.
Sprint left. There had to be a busted coverage there. I don't know where the corner was, whether Tyler, or that wasn't, that was Di Gregorio, whether he was playing at a safety position.
So half the distance to the goal.
Fake.
Huh?
Would have liked that
they
fake.
Want to see that fake?
I'd like to see that. Again, let's watch. Well, they're going to run a play, so it's not like a kicking situation.
So they'll go for 2. About a yard and a half to go. Well, I would think maybe you're running Roca either way. Get that 6'3" frame into the end zone. Melikov changed his shoe back to their regular footwear. Steve Jervis with the call. His team up by 3 now. They want to extend that a little bit more.
This is about the 4th league change.
Roca to the left, and he's in for the 2-point conversion. That was easy, and it's a 5-point lead 59 seconds left here in the third. Nice drive by Lackawanna Trail. Had good field position at the 46.
Again, it's very difficult to stop a guy of his caliber from a yard and a half out.
Nine-play drive, excuse me. 51 yards, couple penalties in there. A two-point conversion now has the Lions back ahead by 5, 21-16. Pretty much what we expected to see here tonight from these two Class A teams.
One of the things that we should cite is that Nate Roca has been, obviously he touches the ball on every down that the Lions have it, but he's been playing defensive end as well. He must be well conditioned. Now again, what stopped Gregorio to kind of hesitate at that particular point? It may be because a little bit of a hitch before he let the ball go. So maybe he thought the ball was going to be thrown underneath him.
So this time Melnikov, nope. Very high, short kick. And falling down right in the middle is Pepsin. That's where Old Forge will have it right at their 35. Here's what the Blue Devils have left in the season. It's not going to be easy. Next week they have their rivalry, Riverside in, then they go to Northwest and end with Montrose. So there's three tough games in there. Lackawanna Trail, Dunmore, Riverside all in a roll for Old Forge.
It'll be tough. Again, hopefully they'll come out of this game healthy and be able to prepare. With both teams, you're talking about numbers, difficulty, and you can't afford injuries.
And this will be a game that you're going to feel tomorrow. It's been a hard-hitting small school contest. Back to the round game they go. Pepsin pushed back by Melnikov. Give him a yard at best, but that was a big hit by the sophomore.
Trail has done a better job so far in this half in stopping that inside run, whether blast or a power, whatever it is.
So does Coach Schuback go into the playbook a little bit more now that the running game's not going like it did?
They haven't used their tight end. I don't know whether they've used him.
Well, they use him on the tight end screen.
He's a big kid.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think they used Sariavong enough until that late in this game. Let's see. Lucarelli over to the tight end. There's Wargo.
There you go.
About a yard short. And that will be the last play of the third quarter. So back and forth we go. Like a welterweight fight here at Tunnel Hill. It's the Lions who will have a 5-point lead after 3. We're back at Tunnel Hill up in Factoryville. Lackawanna Trail leads as we get ready to begin the fourth quarter. Old Forge with the ball on 3rd and short. Up for the first down was Lucarelli, and they're going to move the chains. Bob Ide, Stan Kaharski, Paul Grippy enjoying this District 2 Class A game. It's a Lackawanna Football Conference Division 4 game as well, and it's been as advertised, coach, back and forth. Old Forge had the lead going into the half, then Lions took it back. Old Forge had it, and now the Lions have it again.
Very entertaining.
It has been. A little bit of passing, a little running, and really hard hitting. Lucarelli back out. This is Suriavong. Looking for a block, didn't get it. Good defense. Shooting up was Moyle to make the tackle.
Gain of about 3. Again, it's going to keep the Lions. Here we'll see. It's just that quick screen to a trip set. Trail did a much better job, obviously, on that particular play than they did the previous effort on the part of the Blue Devils.
Moyle does a nice job getting off his block, too.
And that's the key. You can't stay blocked. You have to really fight to get free, get to the ball carrier. Di Gregorio's in the backfield now.
Flag prior to the snap. Is this delay of game?
I don't know, it's the official.
It
the back,
didn't look
one
like
of
it
the
was
back
25
judges.
seconds. Or did someone set and get back up? Delay of game. And it's tough now without a clock here.
It is.
And you're not used to it, too.
No, you're not.
Because most places that you go to have that clock in the
Well,
end zone you get to
knowing
look at.
that, as you practice during the course of the week, you have to alert your quarterback to the fact that, listen, you've got to see that official.
But but the quarterback is a running back. Maybe he didn't practice. You know, how much did they practice this week? Gregorio is the backup quarterback to give it in the inside. Flag comes in. This was Pepsin. He went up for 4, but let's see what the call is. From the far side, Coach Schubeck's going to be aware. Illegal shift. Will they accept it or decline it? Take the down. They'll take the down. So it'll. Well, they moved the ball already. So I think he actually had a couple more yards after that. 3rd and long coming, no matter what now, for the Blue Devils.
Lucarelli's in the shotgun.
Here comes the rush. He has room to run. He throws it. Was he past the line of scrimmage? I don't know, but Rios caught it.
There is a flag.
There is a flag. Coach Jervis, right in the referee's earshot.
There's more than one flag, Bob,
And
so he was beyond the line.
I think he was 2, and the flags came out.
I think that's loss of down as well.
Yep. Eligible downfield. Oh, because the quarterback went over. Well, here's the play. Well, I can't see where the line of scrimmage is. Tough on this play.
It's a nice catch.
I think he was by the line of scrimmage.
It's a good catch by Anthony Rios.
This will back up Old Forge now. 3rd and long coming up. Just about the 41-yard line. So 2 big penalties here from the Blue Devils on this drive.
Here's an open set. Trips. Split.
Another flag. Flag fest here, this drive. Not this again. False start. You can only call them as you see them. It just happens to happen. Now, mental breakdown coming up for Oral Forge on this drive. Now, Coach Schubeck, what do you do? Do you try to get it all back or just play the percentages?
You would think Trail's not going to get beat deep, but you never know. It's high school football.
Well, you can get Serio Vong deep and have Lucarelli just put it up there. Or Rios on the other side. Both have good speed.
Here again, we see trips to the left, split in right, single back in the backfield with the quarterback.
Here comes the blitz.
And it's a draw play.
Pepsin with the room. Can he get to the outside and get a block? He picks up a block from Serio Vong. To the sidelines. Pepsin is down after the missed tackle. I don't know if he cramped up or something. He fell to the ground. Flags on the field and everything. A lot going on that play. Pepsin is down.
And there's another flag on the bench.
Things going now coming unhinged from Old Forge. Here's the play, though. Good play call.
Excellent. A draw play. Give it to your best running back. Makes a good cut. There's a block that might have been from behind.
That was Surya Vong there. I don't know if it's a cramp or what.
It appears that he cramped up in his right foot.
Coach Schubeck on the field, walking off. It's against Old Forge on the 1 spot.
Pretty much going to start where they started that previous snap. Looks like a 3rd and 20.
Well, it was 3rd and 19. Concern for Pepsin, the junior running back. I don't know if he cramped up or if something came unhinged, maybe in the ankle or something. He cannot put weight on his ankle, as you see. A tough loss.
It's you never know. It might be a cramp. When that muscle cramps up like that, there's no sensation in it other than the pain. You hope it's not anything but that. Now, Bob, on that down, it's 3rd and forever. Coaches, screen, draw, screen, draw. They run a draw, and you're not in position to defend it.
I thought Sirivong block was fine. Took 2 guys out. He was right in front of them, but now that we see it that way. Let's look at it again. Watch for the block coming up.
Should happen right about here, right there.
Yeah, it's close. It was close, and I don't know who tried to tackle him. Who's that? 56.
Give him a lot of credit.
Josh Brown.
Give him a lot of credit. It's tough running on one leg.
Okay, on the field now, they're going to talk to Coach Schuback. The ball is back at the 32. It's still 3rd down. Old Forge has the ball. Coach Schuback doesn't like it, whatever Joe Lally said to him. Things going not the Blue Devils' way on this possession. A couple penalties. Has the ball all the way back inside their own territory. Now they'll call timeout. Coach Schuback wants to regroup and see what this is, and we'll check on Kevin Pepsin, the junior running back who was injured on that play.
Covering the news that matters to you most every night at 10 o'clock. The Fox 56 News First at 10. Join Ryan, Jamie, and Mike tonight at 10.
Pepsin on the Old Ford sideline, sitting on the bench being looked over. Now, what is Coach Schuback trying to say to his team?
Well, do you have a call for 3rd and 25?
No, we didn't have a call for 3rd and 19. I love the draw call, though.
Again, they need to obviously try to put the penalties behind them, do the best they possibly can in this situation. Punt the ball. There's still over 10 minutes to go in the in the 4th quarter.
Well, it's a safe play.
Yeah,
you're probably going to see a safe play, right? No turnover.
Would they pass the ball? Why not? I mean, you can pass the ball. Are you going to be able to pass the ball beyond the 45 into the territory of the Lions? Probably not, or you shouldn't be able to anyway.
Well, the line to gain for the first down is at the Lions 45. Ball now at the Old Forge 32. So there you see 3rd and 23 coming up. So no Pepsin. Lucarelli back into the shotgun.
Here we have they have 2x2, excuse me.
3-man rush, 8-man in the secondary. Lucarelli has time. They're going to go downfield and try to get it to Soriavong, overthrown. Reels beyond the punt.
Good effort on the part of the Blue Devils, trying to get the ball to one of your playmakers.
Right, to the sideline, safe pass. And Reels has done a nice job punting the ball tonight as well. So
he's got
something
some
to
he's got some height on the end, plus he's gotten a good spiral out of his kicks.
You're not faking it now or anything. I mean, there's 10 minutes. You have plenty of time.
I don't think so.
No. Not down 5. Lions going to play it safe, though. Reels in. Nice high kick again. Going to take a nice bounce and trail. Have it inside the 30-yard line, about the 28. Trail up 5 here late. I should say early in the 4th quarter. 9:50 remaining.
I would anticipate that we're going to see a lot of the traditional wing tee with the buck sweep, the belly play, trap to the fullback. Use that clock as much as they possibly can and just drive the ball down the field.
Here's what Trail has coming up the rest of the season. They'll head to Hanover next week. Lake Lehman's going to be a tough game here. And then the end with Holy Cross.
They've certainly put up a lot of points during the course of the year, as you can see. They've got 21 last week, of course, in a sloppy field at Mid-Valley. They were able to walk away with a 20-6 victory.
Trail could hold on to this lead. Very good chance they'll host the district title in week number 11. Most likely against this team as Roca goes down, almost lost the ball. Taken down quickly by Samitz.
He's had quite a number of carries. And here you can see again, he's just catching that football and following his lead blockers and getting as much as he can.
We've seen the senior linebacker in a lot of tackles as well. Again, this may also wrap up the Lackawanna Football Conference Division 4. A couple more games for each team to go, but winnable games for both.
Trip set to the left.
Direct snap to Melnikov, caught Old Forge off guard. Almost lost the ball. All the way inside Old Forge territory for the sophomore fullback.
Here we go, Bob, a short snap to the cough. We highlighted him before the game. Look at that, busts through two potential tacklers, breaks out towards Old Forge's bench. He's a pretty sturdy kid, about 190 pounds. Gets the ball into the Blue Devils territory.
37-yard gain, a big play for the Lions, trying to hold on to the lead. Biggest run of the night for the fullback. Up to the Old Forge defense now to make the stop, and we're going to have a flag late. Is this another?
It's going to be delay a game.
Yeah.
Unless they call timeout.
They called a timeout. Coach Jervis called the timeout.
Creator-producer Ryan Murphy has directed another hit series on Fox. 9/11 explores the high-pressure experiences of first responders in heart-stopping situations that are unpredictable, intense, and uplifting at the same time.
We have a Keystone College timeout right at the last second by Lackawanna Trail, up 5. And, you know, give a lot of credit to both teams. You know, as you said, they both came in to win the game, no matter what happens.
They're playing hard. They play hard. When we saw them 2 years ago, it's the same thing. It was a tough game. Was it 17-8 or something to that effect? So they're both playing their hearts out. And that's what high school football should be about. Two relatively evenly matched teams going after each other.
Barring anything, they'll meet again, as I said.
It appears that way.
So they'll put Roca into the shotgun. Melnikov going to lead the way. Big push by the line. And the Delaware-bound baseball player up to near the 35.
With that set, the trips and the back offset to the trip side, there's only two ways they're going. Straight ahead, or they're going to the trip side. And that ball goes directly to Roca. Do you have any idea how many carries he's had?
I'm not adding that up. Well, hold on, I will. Just give me a minute.
He's got to be in the 20s, at least. Again, same set, trips to the wide side of the field.
They ran him a lot against Dunmore. They'll run him a lot here. It's been effective. Going to be short by a couple yards. He's pushed back, so third down coming. The Blue Devils defense now really needs to step up, make a stop, get that ball back.
Coach Jervis has put this game on the shoulders of number 17, their senior leader, their quarterback.
And now the offensive line to do the job up front.
Well, absolutely. Backs don't do anything unless there's somebody doing something up front. And we've said this over and over again during the course of the season. The teams with the offensive lines are the teams that are successful.
Ford showing the blitz. They're going to try to throw. He hits Edwards in the flat. Edwards has the first down inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. Gain of 10.
Trail has a rhythm here. Again, it's a little bit of a sprint to the right. Just an easy toss out into the flat. And the problem for Old Forge is that if he could run this as well as throw it, and you don't know whether to come up or stay back. Old Forge has got a lot of guys with their hands on their hips. We've got both teams with the two-way performers, and it's been a tough game. Fatigue is going to set in here.
They say offensive rest and defense, you play hard. Is that what they say? They're going to show the run blitz. Wargo there, standing up Melnikoff and a couple other of his friends. Now it comes down to the clock.
Exactly, that's what I was just thinking, Bob, that here we see Melnikoff gets a couple of yards, really back to the line of scrimmage. But again, we said if they can control the clock on this drive and come up with some points, it's going to put Old Forge in a very difficult situation.
Old Forge has 2 timeouts left in the game. Just under 6 minutes now to play here in Tunnel Hill. But Factoryville, PA. No leaf change yet, a little bit too warm. Beautiful night for high school football. Roca gonna roll, no one open. Gonna loop it to Edwardson. He was there. They had him covered. Linwood had him, left him.
Well,
nice job to Roca.
What you see here is a sprint and a flood route. And essentially you have receivers that are stacked on each other. One very deep, one intermediate, one shorter. And he just lofts it over the head of any of the coverages, and there's Edwards inside the 10-yard line.
Edwards came in with 6 catches on the
We could
season.
throw those stats before this game out the window because they don't have any relevance.
They don't do anything. Inside the Manuka Subaru red zone for Lackawanna Trail, trying to seal this one up. Roca caught from behind. Niggeloff in their number 52 makes the tackle. Up near 5 minutes to play. Second and goal, ball at the 9. No, excuse me, at the 6.
If they score here, it'll be at least a 2-possession game.
No turnovers in this half anyway for Lackawanna Trail. They had 2 fumbles in that first half that caught them and an interception. Roca, Roca, hurdles, you can't do that in high school football though. That's a flag. We saw that at the prep game last week. I don't know if it's unsportsmanlike, but you can't do that in high school. It looks cool and everyone rises to their feet, but it's an illegal play. You went in for the score, but it won't count. Look at it again, great hurdle. Probably the right thing to do if you're in college, but you can't do it in high school. I don't know why, you just can't.
That
Safety.
was my question. Safety, okay.
Well, that's what I'm going to tell you. And it's a 15-yard penalty to boot. If he put his shoulder down and hit the kid in the head, it'd be fine. I don't get it. So after the penalty, it goes up to the 17-yard line. Can't get a first down. It's second and goal from there. 4:33 clock stopped. That could be a big play. We'll keep this one in the back of our heads and minds.
As you said, the rationale for that rule probably is the safety factor.
Put it in the hands of your senior, number 17. Gonna throw, he's looking to the end zone. Owes the middle, tipped, almost intercepted. Holtzman had it, went in and out of his hands. Stop the clock.
drop. He's got good protection, goes off the Holtzman's hands. Bounced around there. 2 other people had a chance to perhaps get that.
Third down and goal inside of the Manuka Subaru red zone. The question will be, what happens if you don't get anything here? Do you go for a field goal? They're going to go to Roca. Goes back over the middle. It could be, is it? It goes to the ground. Almost intercepted by Holtzman again. Now what do you do? 4th down. You try a field goal to go up 8? Or give the ball back to Old Forge?
How good is their kicker?
Roca's 1 for 1. He's got a decent leg. Here's the pass again.
Up in the air.
Soryavong, the first guy to hit it. I think we'll get probably a timeout by Coach Jervis to talk it over. 4:20, clock stopped.
That's a pretty long field.
That is a long field goal on a grass field. Ball's at the 17, 20, 34-yard kick. Try to get something back and pin Old Forge to go long field.
I'm not, unless you have a kicker that's that's
outstanding.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, Paul. Well, beautiful, great game here tonight, and we're hoping for the same thing next week, right?
Bob, we've had a great season of terrific and exciting games, and this is week 7, so that just means only 3 weeks left in the regular season. Next week, we will stay in District 2, but it'll be a crossover game, Wyoming Valley Conference and Lackawanna Conference, as Nanticoke heads up to Chapman Lake to take on the Lakeland Chiefs. Week after that, we are in Columbia County, and it will be a District 4 matchup between Lewisburg and Central Columbia. And then in Week 10, the season finale, when the Wyoming Valley Conference holds all their rivalries, it's a good one from Charlie Trippi Stadium. We'll have Wyoming area against Pittston area, and that is 2 teams having really good seasons, and they're looking forward to that game. I'm looking forward to that game. After that, well, we'll take a week off before we get into the district championships, and then later in November, college football, Mayor's Cup on a Saturday afternoon, Kings and Wilkes, and maybe some state football playoffs. We'll see how they line up. But Bob, you have to admit, we've had some really exciting games this season so far.
We have. Last 2 weeks have been pretty exciting. A little bit lopsided last week, but going in. But this is right up there with one of our first games of the year with Loyal Sock and Danville. We've had some good exciting.
They have been. And it's hard to believe that it's week 7.
Always. 4th down. Here's the play. Roca time. Roca over the middle. Knocked down. Old Forge takes over on downs. 4:14 remaining. It's got to, of course, it has to come down to this. Let Old Forge have the ball. That big unsportsmanlike play. Roca doing something natural, just trying to jump over somebody.
I'd be curious as to how many kids know that is unsportsmanlike conduct.
You just play again.
Are they told that you can't jump over somebody like that? They see it every weekend in college and in the pros.
That's a valid point. We saw it last week against with Scranton Prep, right?
You wonder.
Leo Boyle tried to do it.
Don't hurdle.
No.
This is not track. But again, is that one of those little things that just isn't addressed during the course of preseason or during the course of the year at all?
Well, it won't matter if Lackawanna Trail defense can hold Old Forge.
Draw play.
This is Linwood. Pepson's hurt. Good play by Cost, tripping him up. Short gain.
Old Forge has got to play with the clock here now. Again, they can't take a whole lot of time in between plays, going all the way over to the sidelines to get plays.
Again, Kevin Pepson, their leading rusher, out.
I think somebody's coming back in. Is that Pepson?
Nope, that is Soryavong. Lucarelli to the shotgun. Has time. Oh, no. Pocket breaks. Lucarelli has the sidelines, has the first down, goes out of bounds up near the 40, a late hit. No flag. Took a late hit.
right on the Old Ford sidelines. No flag. Here's the play again.
Again, one of the things that you tell your edge defenders, keep the quarterback in the pocket. Do not let them get outside of that pocket. Last week we saw Valley View do a great job for the most part against the Berwick quarterback.
Pepsin on crutches on the sidelines. Ball to the 37, a lot of time left. Rios. Out of bounds, clock stops. I mean, you have playmakers. You have Rios on one side, Surya Vaughn, you have the tight end. So a lot of options for Old Forge.
They need to manage that clock. Again, it's just a safe pass, throw it out to the boundary, hope that he can break some tackles. A lot of time.
Plenty of time. There's Coach Schuback, Frank Burdelli, Jay McKenna there. McKenna played at Scranton, right?
At Scranton
and then
High.
Lackawanna College, and then played Division I football. A lot of experience. They're going to go to the other
There's a
side.
deep.
Nope. Going to go deep to Rios. Rios got it. Rios with the big catch. Old Forge, a Manuka Subaru touchdown. 61-yard pass play. Lucarelli to Rios.
Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. Here they fake that little bubble screen, lets it fly. Rios has run past the defender, Edwards, and he's able to take the ball into the end zone.
What an arm by the sophomore quarterback. We knew he was good. It's a coming out party for Dante Lucarelli.
We've said that we thought that they would pass the ball a little bit more than they have in the past, last week particularly.
Now you definitely go for two. You have the 1 point lead. You want to go for two, extend that to 3 points. 3:04 left. What a game here in Tunnel Hill.
It's been exciting. The fortunes in a game turn on little things, things that are unexpected at times.
Here, look at it again.
No rush. Quarterback was able to stand back there and do what he wanted to do.
In stride, he beat the 4-year starter Edwards, who couldn't make the tackle. What poise in the pocket. He looked him off right. He looked off to the left. He knew he was going downfield.
Exactly.
It may have held
It
the
was
safety.
a good call by the Old Forge staff. They've seen that play reacted by the defense on at least 2 other occasions.
Here's the 2-point conversion to Gorio. Melnikoff knew it was coming,
again.
and boy, the sophomore, what a great play.
Took his legs right out from under him.
Shot right in like a cannon. 1 point lead for Old Forge.
Wow.
A name you're going to hear for the next 2 years at least. Ray Melnikoff, 5'11", 205 sophomore.
This will be interesting to see whether Old Forge kicks it deep, try to squib it.
Well, they tried to squib the opening kick of the third quarter, went out of bounds. I think you try to kick it as deep as you can. Of course, they did give up the 85-yarder to, right?
Yeah, to Resto.
To Resto.
There he goes. He's going back again. He and
oh, there's definitely a lot to talk about tonight.
Cody
Moyle. Yep. Two weapons back there.
Still plenty of time.
Oh,
There's
a lot of time.
3 minutes to go.
No timeouts left, though.
We have a quarterback that can throw the football.
Plenty of time, though, with 3 minutes and change. Boy, a great one here in Factoryville. As expected, the Blue Devils trying to knock off the undefeated Lions. Tighten the race up in the district standings. Maybe win Division IV of the Lackawanna Football Conference. Paul Grippy can barely contain his excitement on the sidelines.
And he didn't take his coat off either.
No coat. No, he's kept the coat on. So Rios will tee it up. He has a good leg, the lefty. Kicked it pretty good tonight. Now it's up to the special teams of the Blue Devils. Too many players on the field. A lot of time now. Watch they don't get a penalty. Lions fans want the ball kicked or throw the flag. Kick it real deep. Resto with a foot on the 10 with running room. Ooh. And he's popped by Soryavan.
Soryavan is fearless, Bob. At 5'5" or 5'4", he plays big. 74 yards. Watch. Wow.
No one put
no regard for their bodies on that particular play.
No body on number 3.
Resto was going straight ahead, 100 miles an hour.
Ball at the 28. Here is the senior Nathan Roca. He has weapons as well. And we know he can throw the ball. We've seen it tonight. He's thrown it 18 times. Play action if you want. No rush. Down the middle. Going for Barrios. Carey had a hand on him. No flag call.
Barrios had position. Looked like a little push in the back, but no flag from the officials.
I like the call by Coach Jervis. We're just going to go for it on the first play.
Here he is. Got no pressure. Yeah.
Carey's played pretty good back there. He has the interception. Had the flag for interference in the end zone on the one drive. Roca back again. He's going to have a tired arm. He's looking downfield. He's got room to run. If he wants, instead he short hops it, trying to get it to Resto. Surprised they're just not trying to eke it and trying to go for the long ball right at the beginning.
I guess they're just hoping that they can get beyond the secondary. Tommy Soryavan is winded, you can see that, but he's playing his heart out. Trail's going to have to come up with a play here.
Just get a first down. There's still a lot of time.
A lot of time.
They need to work the ball down the field. Roca, though, watch his legs. That's what really hurt the Blue Devils at the end of the first half. Four-man rush. Roca gets about 6 back, 4th down coming.
Well, this is the football game right here, Bob. Trail needs a first down here. The game's over.
No timeouts left. You can't talk this one over. Play comes in. You need 3 yards, or as Coach just said, this one's in the books. Roca gonna roll. Roca to the line.
He's short.
He's stopped by Holtzman. Short. Let's see where the ball goes.
He's short.
It looks short. It's gonna be on the spot. Right foot spot. They're gonna measure. I'm not gonna say anything here. It's tough on the angle.
Angle, exactly.
Yep.
I have a bad angle, I think.
There's the angle straight across. Where here it doesn't look like a first down. As we see it, and Tyler Peterson on the camera there. They'll bring the chains over. I just hope we don't have to pull out a paper or something. Stretch it out, and they're going to be a yard short. Old Forge holds.
The Blue Devils are jubilant over there on the sideline.
Holtzman, another sophomore, listed at 5'6", 182, came in as the leading tackler, made the biggest play of this game.
Again, he did what he's done all night. He lowers those hips and those shoulders, tries to drive forward. This time he was stopped short of that first down. Ball security here is important.
Well, that's not a good way to start. All you have to do is roll out the clock and a flag comes in. Legal substitution against the Lions. Well, what a game.
We had, what
a game.
5 or 6 changes of the lead?
Again, the Lions can't emphasize it enough, had a touchdown taken off the board because Rocco hurdled a player in the end zone on sportsmanlike conduct that would have gave them a 2-score lead. Instead, Old Forge got the ball back, and Lucarelli to Rios was the biggest play of this game. A lot to diagnose and digest in this game. A lot of big plays at the end of the first half where Lions didn't score. Chances were there all night long.
As a coach, you need to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. And there's no question about that. Both teams have pretty much done that tonight. It's just a question of the clock's going to run out on one team as opposed to the other.
The Lions may look back at this and just missed opportunities. Give Old Forge a lot of credit, though. They took advantage of those opportunities. Suryavon goes down. Gonna be short of a first down. Just under a minute to play. We'll roll down. You said there was a smile from Coach Schuback. You missed it. A lot of character on this Old Forge coaching staff and team after the big loss to Dunmore last week. Now they get to face their rival next week at home against Riverside. Suryavon going to be stopped short. His clock's still rolling, 40 seconds and counting. 25 seconds clock will stop, so they'll kick it. I mean, Lions may get it with a couple seconds left.
There's about a 6-second difference. So Forge have a timeout left?
Yeah.
Here's what you do, Bob. Snap the ball in the shotgun, just hold it and let them come and then put your knee down. That way the ball's secure.
But what a game. A lot of big plays, a lot of big playmakers, a lot of things to look at. And I'm telling you, that if the game in week 11 is like this one, I'm coming.
We anticipated a battle, and both these teams certainly delivered it. The changes in lead, it's pretty interesting in terms of a high school game, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And big plays, that's the thing.
Yep.
Big plays by, again, the playmakers.
But give Old Forge credit in the beginning of this game. They pushed the line of scrimmage, they held the line of scrimmage, and they ran the ball even after the turnover. They controlled it in the first half, established the running game.
It's a big bounce back for them. They pretty much got handled last week. Dunmore ran at will, 400 yards, almost 400 yards rushing, and Old Forge has regrouped, and they came here and they've played their hearts out, as has the Lions.
A couple guys on crutches, though, over there, and they'll have to look at the injury report for Old Forge tomorrow and Coach Schuback. So 4th down. What do you do, as Coach just said? They're going to pitch it.
I don't like that.
Suryavon still on his feet. Clock hits 0. The score will count. It's a Manuka Subaru touchdown for Tommy Suryavon, his second of the night. And all that does is just extend the lead by 6, and that will be the final score.
That's the game.
That is the game. So the final
on this Tommy Soriavone touchdown will be Old Forge 28, Lackawanna Trail 21. What a game here in Tunnel Hill, Factoryville. A game the fans will never forget. The Lions dropped the first game of the year. They go to 6-1. Old Forge improves to 5-2. Paul Grippy trying to get our players of the game, and we'll take a breath. What a game here on Lions Pride Stadium. And what a lot of pride on both these teams here tonight. There you see Kevin Pepson, number 21, on crutches. Hopefully he's back in a couple weeks. And Paul Grippy has the players of the game. Let's go, Paul, to the guy that caught the winning touchdown.
Yeah, okay, Anthony Rios for Old Forge here. Well, tell me about this game. I mean, coming in, you guys are probably the underdog, but you didn't exactly face it that way yourselves, right?
Yes, they were ruling us as the underdogs. They came out 6-0, but we're going all right, but we just came back and ready to play hard, and the coach fired us up at practice tonight in the few days, so we just came out hard and ready to play.
Tell me about your touchdown here in the fourth quarter. It looked like you really had that defensive back fooled. You turned on the Jets. What was the play call, and how did you execute your portion of it?
Well, the coach told me that I was going to do this and that, so I just did what I had to do, and I caught that ball, and I ran, had to shed tackles like I'm supposed to do, and run for the end zone.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank
Anthony
you very
Rios, a player of the game, and let's bring in Colin. Hey, another player of the game here. Tell me about the defense tonight, how you guys perform, especially getting them to stop tonight at the end of there in the fourth quarter. How did your defense do?
All week we preached doing our jobs, giving the effort. I got to give it to the D-line. They made holes for me, left me unblocked, and all the linebackers to make tackles all night.
So a good win for you guys, but probably going to see these guys again. So what did you get out of tonight? What does this mean to your team and your season?
It means we have to work harder, and next game come out and execute again just like we did tonight.
All right, congratulations on getting a good win tonight. So Colin, player of the game, along with Anthony Rios, Bob, and Old Forge has got a big win.
Love to hear what Coach Schubeck has to say after this one. You know, he likes to come up here and, you know, knock off the unbeaten team. Boy, a lot to diagnose, and love to watch this game again. You'll watch it on fox56.com next week. We'll have it posted. We'll also have it on Facebook as well. So, big win by Mike Schubeck's team. He fired him up. What did you like about what he did tonight with his play calling?
Well, I think that one of the things that he did was to try to balance out his offense. Lucarelli had a pretty good game. That touchdown pass obviously was the backbreaker. So you got to give them credit for doing that. Rather than 3 yards in a cloud of dust, they made Trail defend both pass and run. So you got to give the Old Forge staff some credit. I know speaking before the game to one of the assistants, they were hoping that they would be able to throw the ball a little bit more. They feel that they've got talent, and obviously Soriavone and Rios can catch and run, as they showed tonight. And, of course, the quarterback can get the ball to them. We've seen some very good quarterbacks. We've seen some seniors. We've seen some sophomores. And it's interesting to see their development as the season goes forward. So, again, it was a great victory for the Blue Devils.
Well, I don't know if we can top tonight. Pretty good, but we're going to try next week up at Chapman Lake, just down the road. Nanticoke comes to town. You want to see this guy, Joe Amons, 375 yards against Crestwood last week. We'll showcase him next week against the Chiefs. Lakeland will be on the air at 7 o'clock. What a game here in Tunnel Hill. A shout out to our senior cameraman tonight, Corey Wilson. Happy birthday, big guy. Hope you have a good one this weekend. For the entire Fox 56 Sports crew here on MyTV on Friday Night Rivals. For Paul Grippy, for Stan Kaharski, this is Bob Hyde saying so long from Factoryville.
This is Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.